i-contrast natin it chemotherapeutic agent, antimicrobial agent, and the antibiotics. When we say chemotherapeutic agent, asya niyan mga drugs na ginagamit para ma-treat ang mga condition or mga disease. While an antimicrobial agent, these are also drugs na ginagamit para liwathan mga infectious diseases. It iraging bubuhat it is either iraging inhibit ang growth ng mga pathogens or iraging papatay. Then, antibiotics. Antibiotics is produce siya mismo ng mga microorganisms. Iya purpose is para liwat mapatay or ma-inhibit ang growth ng other microorganisms. So, antibiotics, they are antimicrobial. Pero, diritanan na antimicrobial agents are antibiotics. So, example ng isang antibiotics is antimicrobial. Antimicrobial is siya ang first antibiotics. Ang nakadiscover sa iya is si Alexander Fleming. Ang pagka-discover nato ni Alexander Fleming is dira niya pag-culture is napansin niya na ang parthan mga culture niya is may da mga microorganism. Then didahang part liwat na may da penicillin which is ginproduce mismo molds is napansin niya na waray mga microorganisms. So nag-conclude niya na maybe penicillin niya pwede niya matreat, maging useful para matreat ang mga infectious diseases which is causan other microorganisms. So, iya name na penicillin kay usaya nga inhibitory substance that is produced by the mold. So, there is 5 most common mechanisms of action of the antimicrobial agent. So, first, iya ginhimo is iya gininhibit ang paghimuhan sa wall. So, diba, sa wall is usaya nga nagpro-provide hin rigidity ng shape o sa nga cell. Then, next is ang cell membrane or damage the cell membrane. So, its cell membrane is yan responsible or yan nagre-regulate han passage han nga nutrients nga na-enter nga na-live sa nga cell. So, yan nagsiseparate han outside of the cell nga inside of the cell. Next is the inhibition of nucleic acid synthesis. It's either an DNA or an RNA. Then, inhibition of the protein synthesis. Then, and lastly, the inhibition of the enzyme activity. So, di ba, enzyme is usaya nga hiyaan na-serve as catalyst. Kumbaga, iya gindi-decrease an activation of energy. Antibacterial agent are the use of drugs to treat any bacterial disease. So, it bacteriostatic, iya lagi inhibit ang growth ng pag-divide ng mga bacteria. Then, it bactericidal liwat is iya gimpapatay ang bacteria. So, may da mga antibiotics na iya lagi destroy is an gram-positive cell wall han bacteria. Tas may dalaliwat kanang specific la kanang gram-negative bacteria han cell wall han bacteria. So, amo din niya tinatawag na narrow spectrum antibiotics. Pero may daliwat both ang gram-positive and gram-negative cell wall han bacteria iti agin di-destroy. So, asya din tinatawag na broad spectrum antibiotics. Multidrug therapy. When we say multidrug therapy, kailangan niyahin 2 or more drugs para mapatay tanan na pathogens. Unlike kung usalaya nga antimicrobial agent, so diri tanan na pathogens is napapatay niya. Then, i-differentiate natin ang synergism ngan ang antagonism. When we say synergism is nagamit kita hinduha nga antimicrobial agents para matreat ang mga infectious diseases. So mas na-produce siyahin durda mo nga pagpatay kaysa hit na-achieve kung usala nga antimicrobial agent it ginagamit. Well, it antagonism liwat is duha nga drugs pero gin-prescribe rahin different, like for example, different doctors or clinics ang nag-prescribe mo. So, baga nagkakamay, they go against with each other. So, baga nagkakamay da empathy. So, dirihira nagkakamay da competition na ira. So, mas less lait na papatay nga pathogens. Antifungal agents are used to treat fungal diseases. So, mas difficult iniyang gamiton kay tungod na fungal is usaya nga eukaryotic cells. So, mas toxic hiya mga patient. Pati gihapit antiprotozoal which is used to treat protozoal diseases. So, toxic gihapit host cell. Iya ginihimo is gini-interfere niya ang DNA and RNA synthesis. Well, lastly is antiviral agents. Iya koan is makuriya develop ngan gamiton kay tungod nga it virus is na produce within host cell. So like for example, and recently what we are experiencing now, ito na sinising na coronavirus. So waray pa cure nga diri pagyap ma-identify kung tikang din ito niya nga virus. So, aton lang dapat himuon is pakusgunit aton immune system para diri kita madali ka-acquire ito niya nga virus. We will discuss how bacteria become resistant to drugs. So, first is naging resistant tira drugs. The reason kay they lack the target site. For example, is the cell wall. If a bacteria is warin nila cell wall, so, nagiging resistant tira kay di ba't ginihimo kasi drug, ira gini-inhibit ang cell wall synthesis. Another is, if ang drug, diri nakaka-cross na duhan organism cell wall or either ang cell membrane. That is why, diri gat niya na-reach ang kanang site of action. So, this time is, i-discuss liwat natin ang mga mechanisms kung kaya ng bacteria nagiging resistant tira mga antimicrobial agent. So first is a chromosomal mutation that causes a change in the structure of drug binding site. So, a drug binding site is before makag-enter ang drug, kailangan anay niya mag-bind nga to protein molecules or mag-attach siya ang surface ng proteins. So, if magkamay the changes na structure is the drug diri makakag-bind nga tuhan bacterial cell. So asya nagiging resistant drugs. Then another is chromosomal mutation that causes a change in the cell membrane permeability. Di ba cell membrane is siya nagseparate outside and inside of the cell. Tas siya gapit responsible or nagre-regulate ang passage kung hinot ma-enter ng maliv cell. So if magkamay the changes itong cell membrane permeability, so the drug is no longer able to pass through the cell membrane. So diri makaka-reach nga ton iya target. So an organism is magiging resistant sa drug. Another mechanism is by acquisition of a gene that enables the bacteria to produce an enzyme that destroys or inactivates the drug. So, if bacterial cell, kung naka-acquire yung new gene, para ito na cell na makaghimuyahin enzyme, ito na enzyme is, asya ito niya nagde-deactivates or nagde-destroy ang drug. So, once ang drug is ma-destroyed, so, magiging resistant if bacterial cell had drugs. And lastly is the acquisition of a gene that enables the bacteria to produce a multi-drug resistance pump. So once iniya nga gene makaghimuya ito niya nga multi-drug resistance pump. So ang drug before iya makagpatay or makag-damage nga to ang cell, ang drug is mapapump out tikad to hagawas, hand cell. So asya ito na ang bacterial cell is nagiging resistant nira ha drug. So it bilactam ring siya is na-serve as ang garage. So may da mga bacteria nga nag-produce enzyme nga nagdi-destroy han bilactam ring. So ato na enzyme is ang bilactamase. So kung ang bilactam ring is ma-destroyed, ang bilactam antibiotics is diri na ma-work. So an organism nga nagproduce in bilactamase is resistant to antibiotics that contains the bilactam ring. There are two types of bilactamase. First is the penicillinases. So iya gindi-destroy ang bilactam ring han penicillin. So ato na naproduce nga penicillinase is nagiging resistant ha penicillin. The other one is the cephalopurinases. So iya gindi-destroy liwat ang bilactam ring han cephalosporins. So ato nga naproduce ng organism is nagiging resistant ha cephalosporins. Empiric therapy is ang mga clinician is nagigasera kung ano nga pathogens and ano nga drug it magiging effective. So diri pa maaram kung ano ang lab result. Kumbaga era pala hypothesis kung ano ito niya nga pathogens and ano ito nga drug is magiging effective para ito nga pathogen. So, based in hiran ira mga experiences mga particular nga infectious diseases. So, here are some undesirable effects of antimicrobial agent. So, kung an antimicrobial agent is administered to a patient, then may the organisms nga ada patient which is they are easily affected by the agent. So, ato nga na aapektuhan dayon han agent is mamamatay. Pero may dalawang organisms which is resistant ito yung agent, so ma-survive dira. The next effect is an patient may become allergic to the agent. Then, many antimicrobial agents are toxic to humans. So for example, an antifungal and antiprotozoal, so they are toxic to humans. And lastly is with prolonged use of broad-spectrum antibiotics, it may destroy the normal flora of the mouth and intestine and vagina. So if it happens, the person no longer has the protection of the indigenous microflora. So nagiging or madali lahira maapektuhan ng mga infections which is caused by the opportunist or ang mga secondary invaders. Come on!